I really loved the NARS one, and I can't remember what it's called. Vita Liberata, I think. No, it's the Tanner. Hey everybody, thank you so much for clicking on my video to watch. So today's video is going to be products that I think are underrated or just not talked about enough. When I was doing my makeup to get ready to film for this video, I was watching other people's underrated makeup videos, and then I realized that the products that they were talking about I basically have never even heard of. So mine is going to be more towards the side of the products that you probably already have heard about. I just think they're not talked about enough. And I was going to mention the Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche lipsticks, and I was watching Kathleen's video and she said everybody talks about them. So I mean, it kind of just depends what YouTubers you watch. So obviously I don't watch all the YouTubers that you guys might watch, but I do have a few here that I have actually never heard anybody speak about. So I think I have at least a couple of good finds, and if you'd like to know the products that I picked out, then please just keep watching. So I guess I'll just start off with face products. First one I have here sort of works as a primer, and this is the Estee Edit Pore Vanishing Stick. This stick just works amazing. I never heard anybody else really talk about this except for when it first came out, and it just kind of looks like this. It's nude in the middle and then white around the edges, and it just completely vanishes your pores like it says it does. I really love using this, or I have pores like on my nose, and then on my T-zone I have a little bit there too. So I love this stick. It totally smooths out my skin, which is perfect, and I just really think that this product is underrated, and I think that it's a definite must-have. So the next product I have here, I definitely have never heard anybody else talk about. I was just on the MAC website one day and I just decided to pick it up, and it's just a little travel size, but this is the MAC Studio Moisture Cream. I use it all the time in my videos. It's just one of my main steps to my everyday makeup routine, and I use this as a primer, but obviously it is a moisturizer, so it's just going to moisturize and nourish your skin at the same time. But I absolutely love this. I really believe this makes my makeup stay on all day long. It gives my skin so much hydration, and it just gives my skin a natural, luminous, healthy look, and I absolutely love this. I think this is a must-have, and I definitely think it's underrated. I have never heard anybody talk about it before. So they have this little travel size on their website, and they also have a container as their full size, and I definitely need to pick it up because I am just on my last little bit here, but it did last me a really long time and it's so good. I think you definitely need to pick this up, especially if you have dry skin. It's just so good. It makes your makeup last all day long. I really love this stuff. So you probably know what this product is, but I've only seen one other person use this, and I believe that was Tori Sterling, and this is the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous Foundation, and I don't think this foundation is talked about enough. I think it's beautiful. I'm wearing it right now, and it just gives your skin a smooth, flawless coverage, and it's not heavy at all. It doesn't feel or look cakey on your face whatsoever. It's just a beautiful foundation, and when I first picked it up at the drugstore, I didn't even know that this was a product. I thought it was new, but I don't think it is. It's just really amazing. I definitely don't think it's talked about enough, and it's very affordable. I think I only paid about $7 for this in Canadian pricing, so it's just amazing. I don't really know what else to say about it, but it's just a perfect foundation, and I do have dry skin, so it works really well for mine. I'm not sure how it would work on oily skin, but I would say dry to normal skin it's really perfect for, but I don't find it to be super dewy or anything, so I think it might be good for oily skin as well. So this is a definite recommendation from me. So next I have a bronzer to talk about, and I definitely think this item is super underrated. I've never heard anybody talk about this bronzer before, and this is the e.l.f. bronzer in the shade Golden. This is the bronzer I am wearing right now, and I wear it all the time. I absolutely love to mix these two shades diagonally together. I have said that in the past before about this bronzer. I've used this bronzer in every other video that I've filmed. I absolutely love it. Mixing these two shades is really comparable to the Too Faced Sweet Tea bronzer. I think they look really similar swatched, but when I put them on my face next to each other, they really come up the same. They're definitely similar, so it's a close dupe, but I don't really think it's a complete dupe for the Too Faced one, but this is just such a beautiful bronzer. This was $4 Canadian, so in America it's probably only $2. It's just an insanely beautiful bronzer. The quality is absolutely amazing. It is so smooth. It does have some shimmer in it, but it's not sparkly whatsoever. When it goes on your face, it just looks like a beautiful natural golden glow, and I highly recommend this bronzer. Out of everything in this video, this bronzer I would say you have to pick up because it's just that good. This bronzer was also in my top 5 must-have bronzers, and I definitely think this bronzer should be getting a lot more recognition because it's just that good. Now this next bronzer, you've probably heard about it before because it is from Tarte, and this is the Tarte Park Ave Princess bronzer. I think I've only seen a couple people use it in their tutorials before, but I haven't heard anybody really rave about this bronzer. bronzer, and I definitely think it should be raved about. And again, that could just be me and the people that I watch, but this bronzer is absolutely amazing. It makes you look so bronze and glowy. The formulation is really smooth and it just has a beautiful undertone. It has a very nice warm undertone, and my size is just a little travel size one. I think I bought it with my points. I think it was one of those 100 point perks at Sephora. So I just absolutely love this bronzer, and I would definitely say to pick it up. I don't think this bronzer is talked about enough. So the next thing, I have heard a couple people talk about this before. I just don't think it's talked about enough, and this is the Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Duo, and this is in the shade 02. I don't know what the exact name on this is. It just says 02 on the back. I do think it has an actual name on the website if you just read it there, and it probably had it on the box as well. But this duo is so beautiful. It is the perfect duo for the summertime. I don't really touch this during the colder seasons because I'm not really tanned, and I think it just looks beautiful on a nice natural tan. This bronzer is very dark, and then this highlighter is very golden. So on deeper skin tones, I think it would be beautiful. But for me, I can only use it in the summertime. Otherwise, it looks too muddy and too orangey on my face. But this formula is so smooth. It is the smoothest bronzer I think I've ever touched. And this highlighter is so perfect and beautiful. I think it's the perfect golden highlighter. I don't think this duo is talked about enough, and I think it should be. It is just one of my holy grails in the summertime. I can't say enough good things about it. I think these two colors go perfectly together, hand in hand, so it's just the perfect duo, I think. And I just say if you're looking for the perfect golden highlighter, this is just pure gold. It's absolutely beautiful. I definitely say pick this up if that's what you're looking for, because I just think it's so good and it's not talked about enough. So the last face thing I have here is this Marc Jacobs Mirage Filter Duo. But this duo I've only heard Casey Holmes talk about, and that's why I bought it. I think it was a couple years ago I bought it, and this just has the perfect contour shade and a beautiful banana shade. This contour shade has a perfect neutral undertone, and it makes for the perfect shadow underneath your cheeks. I don't know why I didn't use it today. I just had it in my pile and forgot to use it. I used the Tarte Sculpt one, but if you can see there, my Eda brush has been digging into it tons, and I just think it's the perfect ashy contour shade. It looks so beautiful, and this banana shade here is one of the smoothest banana powders I have ever felt. It is so beautiful, and it looks so nice just setting underneath your eyes. It just makes for a perfect smooth finish. This is on the pricey side, so maybe that's why it's not talked about that often. I think this was probably $59 Canadian. I think if you're looking for the perfect contour shade and you are similar to my skin tone, maybe even a little bit lighter, I think this one would be perfect for you. And this banana powder is just the smoothest I've ever felt. So this duo is just perfect, and I do believe that they have a duo very similar to this, but just for deeper skin tones. So I do think this is a must-have, and I don't think it's talked about enough. It has a really beautiful, huge mirror, which is just perfect for doing your makeup in. And yeah, I just think it's a perfect duo. Okay, so I just have an eyeshadow palette to talk about really quickly, and I'm sure everybody has heard about this palette, but again, this is just one of the products I don't think is talked about enough. And this is the Makeup Forever Artist 1 palette, and this palette just has beautiful gold shades. These gold shades are perfect. They're so pigmented, they're so creamy. These Makeup Forever shadows are just one of the best eyeshadows I have ever felt and tried, in my opinion. I always come into this palette when I just want the perfect gold shade, and I know I will get it from this palette. This one right here is my absolute favorite. These shades are really pretty highlights. They look beautiful on your cheekbones and your brow bone. This black is so dark and it blends so beautifully. And then they also have a gray in here and a purpley color, and then just some darker golden shades. And I just think this is great for the perfect golden smoky eye. The only thing it doesn't really have is a transition shade, which is fine because I have plenty of palettes. So I just grab whatever transition shade I feel like using and then go to this one when I want a really sparkly golden look. I just think it's perfect. I think it's really underrated. I don't think people use it enough, and this is one of my must-have eyeshadow palettes. It's one of my absolute favorites. Okay, so next I want to talk about not necessarily these palettes, but the Urban Decay eyeshadows in general. I don't think get enough hype. I think that when these Naked palettes first came out, and they're also continuing to come out, they do get a lot of hype because they are beautiful eyeshadow palettes. I kind of feel like they were really popular, and then they kind of started just getting less popular, and people just like to use different eyeshadows more often than the Urban Decay ones. But the Urban Decay shadows specifically specifically, not technically these palettes, but yeah, just even the individual shadows, they are absolutely beautiful. The Urban Decay shadows have been one of my favorite eyeshadows for a very long time. I've been using them since I was 11 years old. I just think they have a crazy high pigment. Their shade Half Baked is just the perfect gold shade, and I just think their eyeshadows are insane. They are such good quality, and I don't think they're overly priced either. They go on really smooth. They blend perfectly. I never ever have a problem blending these shadows, and I just don't think the Urban Decay shadows are talked about enough. I know that everybody knows what they are, and Urban Decay is a popular brand in general, but yeah, I just think their eyeshadows need a lot more hype than they get. They're just so perfect, and they're one of my favorites. So next I have a few eyeliners to talk about, and this one I know I've never heard anybody talk about, and this is the Hikari black eyeliner. This is in the shade Raven, and this is my holy grail black eyeliner. I really loved the NARS one in Via Vignetta, I think it's called, and then the Smashbox one in Onks were my favorite eyeliners, but this one takes the cake now. I never use anything else. I got this in either an Ipsy bag or a BoxyCharm, but this is just the perfect black eyeliner. It glides on so beautifully. It doesn't tug at my waterline, and if I want to smudge it on my upper lash line, it's so easy to smudge out, and it's so smooth and creamy. It's just the perfect black eyeliner, and I definitely think it's highly underrated. Okay, so the next eyeliners I want to talk about are these Annabelle eyeliners. So I have two here. I believe I have a copper one somewhere. I had a black one before, and I've had a few others. I just can't find them right now, but I did find these two. These Annabelle eyeliners, I never hear anybody talk about. I believe these are only about $2. They are pencil eyeliners, so that probably isn't people's favorite, but the pigmentation that comes off of these eyeliners is so beautiful. You just get so much color off of these, and I just think they're perfect for the lower waterline when you just want to pop up color, or if you just want to use it on your upper lash line and be a little bit more bold. I just think these are perfect. I think they're so good and highly underrated. So last for eyes, I have mascara here, and this is the Essence I Heart Extreme Volume Mascara. This one is the waterproof one, which isn't my favorite because I feel like the waterproof one sort of tugs at your eyelashes a bit more, and it's really hard to take off. So the waterproof one is not my favorite, but I do like the regular one. But I just have this waterproof one here to show you guys. This mascara was $3, I think. It just gives your lashes so much volume. It has a big chubby wand here. It just has so many bristles in it that it just gets every lash and coats them and gives them tons of volume. I think this mascara is highly underrated. I've never heard anybody else talk about it, so I wanted to include it in this video. I just think it's so good. It's very black and it coats every single lash, so I just think it is perfect. If you are looking for a waterproof mascara that doesn't budge, I would say get this one because this one is so hard to take off. So yeah, I think this mascara is really good and really underrated. So I have a few lip products to talk about, and the first one, like I said, I was going to talk about the Bite Beauty Amuse Bouge lipsticks because I haven't really heard anybody else talk about them. I have heard people say that they're amazing, but I don't really see them use them in their tutorials and things like that. So I have 4 here, and I have a bunch of mini ones too, and kind of the double-sided ones, but I just pulled these ones out to show you guys. I'm wearing the shade Honeycomb right now, and that is my absolute favorite. I lost this for a while. I found it way back in my closet, so I don't know, I must have dropped it and it rolled back there, but I'm so glad I found it. It's one of my favorite shades of all time, and these lipsticks in general are just so highly moisturizing, which is perfect for my dry lips. They also smell so amazing. They smell like sweet candy, and they're just so smooth and creamy. They glide on so easy. They give a lot of pigment, and they also last a really long time. I find that I don't have to reapply these a lot. My Honeycomb has lasted me up to about probably 4 to 5 hours shopping one day, and it didn't even budge. The only thing I didn't really like about them is they didn't have a very wide color range, but recently they came out with a whole bunch of nudes and neutrals, which I definitely need to get my hands on. I can't believe I haven't already, but yeah, these lipsticks are so good. So in my opinion, I don't think they're talked about enough, but again, I guess that's just the people that I watch. So next I have a couple of lip glosses to share. The first one I definitely think is underrated because the only person I've heard talk about this is Casey Holmes again, and this was a couple years ago, and I haven't really seen anybody else talk about them. These are the Urban Decay Revolution lip glosses. glosses, and I just have this shade, but I have swatched all of them before and tried a couple of other ones. So I know that they're all the same, but these lip glosses give off so much pigmentation and they last such a long time. It's really hard to believe that this is a lip gloss. One little layer just gives off so much color and looks so amazing, and these lip glosses aren't sticky whatsoever in my opinion. They last a lot longer than most lip glosses do. I find that when I'm wearing lip gloss, I have to keep reapplying it every half an hour to an hour, whereas this one for me lasts about 2 hours and up. So I just think it's a really underrated lip gloss, and I definitely think that they should be getting more recognition. These are just so amazing. I highly recommend these. And then the last lip gloss I want to talk about, not necessarily the formula, but the color. And I think the only person I've heard talk about this is Samantha, and I could be wrong, but this is the Bite Beauty Lush Fruit Lip Gloss in the shade Rambutan, and this is such a beautiful color. It's just a really nice light pink peachy shade, and this reminds me of a lip gloss I used to use when I was probably 13, and I think the lip gloss was from Benefit, and it was a really pretty, just perfect light pink peachy shade. And obviously I had used it all up since then, and I was thinking about it later on, and I was just thinking, what lip gloss was that? And I kept trying to find it, and I'm pretty sure it was from Benefit. It's probably discontinued now, but then I saw this one, and this one looked identical to it, so I got it, and it's just the perfect lip gloss shade. I absolutely love it. The formula is pretty sticky in my opinion, so the formula isn't my favorite, but this color is just so perfect. It's just a really nice light pinky peach shade, just like I said, but yeah, I love this. Okay, last thing I want to talk about, this isn't technically makeup, but it is still beauty related, and that is these Wet n Wild One Step Wonder Gel and nail polishes. I feel like I have not heard anybody talk about these besides Kathleen Lights. I got the shades Condensed Milk and this one in the shade Stay Classy first, and I tried them out, and I think those were the ones that Kathleen Lights first bought, so I went ahead and bought the same ones, and I absolutely fell in love with them. They are exactly like the gel polish you would get at the salon. They last such a long time. They hardly chip, and I really should have worn some today, but I just sat down and was ready to film and totally forgot to do my nails, so I kind of just left it at that. But if you see me wearing nail polish in any of my videos, that is what I'm always wearing. I'm always wearing one of those nail polishes just because they stay on my nails for so long, and they just make me feel like I've been at the salon, and I just never hear anybody talk about them. I think they should be talked about more because they're just so good and last such a long time. Okay, that was probably such a long video, so I'll try and cut it down as much as I can. Yeah, these are just the products that I personally think are underrated, not talked about enough. Again, probably like I've kept reassuring you guys throughout the whole entire video, probably just because of the people I watch and kind of see talk about products. These products didn't really fall into that category, so I just thought I would include them in my underrated makeup products video. So I really hope that this helped some of you guys and kind of showed you some new things. Let me know what makeup products you guys think are underrated and that you use all the time and are your favorites. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe before you leave and like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!